Hello my loves, I'm Ellie Frost. Thank you so much for being on my channel, where we are talking about the multi-dimensional approach to rapidly and radically healing and transforming during and after narcissistic abuse. So wherever you are in this cycle, I've got tools on this channel. I don't just tell you to get away from the narcissist. For some of you, you're not ready yet. There's lots of things to support you. It doesn't matter how old you are, how hard it's been, what you've been through, or how sick you might be. This stuff works, right? But I wanted to talk about creating abundance in your life after narcissistic abuse. In my experience of this, being with narcissists, in the end, my life felt like a complete nightmare. It just felt so dark. And for this, I've got certain things I can teach you on this, where I grabbed onto the small pieces of what I could find joy in my life, which was not an easy thing to do when things were very heavy and it felt like the world was coming down on me a lot of the time, right? But I also was willing to learn, and I'm going to challenge all of you to be willing to learn in a new way with me here, right? I look for wisdom in the world. I channel. I get my own guidance system, and I look for things that confirm that. But I also look for common denominators. What's the same in teachings across religions, across cultures, across different people? Because I know there's a great wisdom in where I see the same kind of thread coming through. And when I already knew to do this, but like when I really wanted to change my relationship with abundance again, I decided, to listen to people who had abundance in ways that I wanted it, right? It is so easy because we have to understand that the imbalances on the planet come from certain energies, right? The same kind of spirit running through people, literally. And people who abuse and manipulate power, authority, and control, abuse and manipulate power and authority and control in whatever form they've got it, right? If those people have money, they abuse money. If those people have authority as a parent, as a boss, as an authority figure, they abuse it, as a religious teacher even. But these energies abuse power, and control. Resources are neutral in our universe, right? So even if you feel like, some people feel religion's bad because they've been religious, as people have taught them religion in a fear-based way, right? Most of us have got very strong subconscious beliefs about abundance, about what it means to live a happy life, about what it means to live like money, our resources. We've got very strong, whether we know it or not, ideas subconsciously around why these things are wrong, mainly because some people in power and control have abused them. They've used them to exploit people. They've used them to manipulate people. The only way we change the planet is resources in the hands of good-hearted people who will do great things with resources, right? So we've got to be conscious of opening our minds to actually the possibility that we can live abundantly, that we actually do the world a service by opening our own hearts and minds to being prosperous on this planet. Not because you need to impress the Joneses. That's not where I'm coming from. Because living in lack is part of the lie that's been oppressed upon the masses, right? Making you believe that that's the only way, that you have to suffer, that you have to live. And again, we're more susceptible to predators and manipulators until we see the truth. And the truth is, there's enough abundance on this planet for all of us. People say, well, it's a distribution problem, that the resources should be distributed differently. It's actually an awareness problem, not a distribution one. Because when more people are awake to their own truth of their own creative power, right? And they don't play these old roles and they don't feed these old dynamics, then more of us will just rise up and not allow ourselves to be manipulated, dominated, controlled in the old ways. Now, the hardest thing sometimes is to get out of our own ways. We think bad things about people with money. We think bad things about people with power. If you do my Money Magic course, it's all about power. It's a course on power and being the creator of your own reality energetically more than anything else. Because when we've suffered major abuse of power, we are very scared that we'll turn into that ourselves. When we, this is what I mean, this rubbish narrative that like narcissists just traumatize children and that's the result of trauma. No, it's not the most common, I don't believe, result of trauma. The most common result of trauma is the people here who are disempowered, often disabled, diseased, completely daren't step into life anymore. They're not the ones that try and play God and take over people in horrible ways. That's not what trauma does. It actually disables a whole sector of the world, right? It disables people, like whether you're disabled clinically or not, it disables you, it dismantles you, it not ruins for good, but it ruins your consciousness, it affects and infects your energy field. It stops you dreaming, it stops you using your heart and mind to do things that would strengthen your life force, strengthen your abundance, right? So I don't think trauma leads to generally narcissists. I think narcissism is a spiritual, I know it's a spiritual choice. Trauma tends to disable and dismantle people's consciousness and keeps an imbalance, a huge imbalance in our society. So stepping into our power, I make videos saying, stepping into your power over money, stepping into your power of narcissistic abuse. Sovereignty is personal power. But you see, for empaths and sensitives and people heart connected, which everyone here, I'm pretty sure you are, we are very responsible with our power. We will do more to avoid hurting someone than we will to often look after ourselves. So we don't need to worry in the way, that we think we do about coming into power, but actually accepting our own personal power can be very scary to us because we don't want to hurt anyone else. Yeah, we don't go, it's not true what they're saying about trauma leads to narcissists. Most of us that have been traumatized never, ever want another human being to feel like that. I know that some of the ways I cried, the noise, like the sound of it, like in the universe. I know I'm not the only person that's cried like that, but like, I just don't want another person to have to go through that if I can help it. You know what I mean? It was like disturbing to me how much unnecessary pain. I know there's pain in life. We're going to lose people we love. There's, but the pain inflicted on a human being in that way, I'm not saying, I know I'm not the only one. There's terrible things that go on this planet, right? But it just made me really understand something different about the tolerance, right, to suffering is not required, but it actually starts from home. Like I keep saying, like what I've been thinking recently is I really believe we can make a huge change on the planet, because I know that if one of us comes into our sovereignty, right, in a community, just one, we stand differently. It has a ripple effect on everyone around you and they all start changing. They don't tolerate abuse, they don't tolerate manipulators, they come into their abundance, they don't let their energy field get damaged and disabled, right? And therefore, like, that's a ripple effect. It actually doesn't take that long for that to actually change the consciousness. Not because we're fighting against narcissism, because we're standing for sovereignty, right? And in that, we start creating beautiful lives. And in doing that, we get more vibrant. And in that, our cells rejuvenate and our diseases change. You'll see, like, things resolve in the body. Your finances get better, your life gets better, your ability, because you can start actually pouring love on things that grows on the planet, like your dreams, yeah, like the people you actually love, like the world, yeah, and then that grows abundance. But when you're in narcissistic cycles and in these illusions, one, you can't, it's not real love, I've talked about that many times. Two, you're pouring love on something that's just destructive, it doesn't grow there. So nothing is flourishing, right? But when you give love on things that can grow, like yourself, everything starts flourishing in your life. Love and truth, the strongest vibrations on the universe. So we've got to start understanding that, like, there's an imbalance on the planet. It's not distribution of resources that's the issue. It's lack of awareness and consciousness. and that there are some people that have targeted you to actually keep you unconscious, right? Because their models of what they do relies on you being unempowered. But when you raise your vibration, your consciousness, actually, we create a whole new world, because we create different types of businesses. We create different types of opportunities. We create different types of caring communities. It's not a hippie idea. It's a fact. It's amazing to me how one person can have such a ripple effect in this universe. Just one person with a voice, one person just standing in a different energy, one person doing life a different way. It's amazing to me, right? And each one of us here is one person. So what do I want to say about it? Be willing to understand that the things that you might have thought were bad, right, are not bad. They've just been handled by bad people, such as money, such as love, such as validation, approval, support, security. Those things are wonderful things in this universe. I want you to also understand that the things that you might think are vulnerable about you are the best things about you, such as empathy, such as your heart, such as your want to contribute and make other people's lives better, such as your want to bless other people, want the best for other people. I see this on this channel all the time, and it just absolutely moves my soul, because what's so interesting to me when I talk about toxic people, and they go around the planet trying to fear you all the time, fear you, always bring you down like crabs in the bucket, putting everyone down that they can to their level. But the people here, some of the people here have been the most hurt people. And they build each other up. People say to me, I want the best for you. I hope you're blessed. I hope this is beautiful. This is what creates abundance on the planet. You can't have what you cannot bless. So if we've got jealousy and envy, it's natural, but we've got to dissolve those. We've got to transmute those energies, because what you bless grows. What you love grows. If you can bless it in another, you can have it for yourself. There's a beautiful, I can't remember what she said. I like Florence Scovel Shinn. She wrote books in 1925. And I love what she writes. She talks about all sorts of things. I think it's called The Art of Success or Living from Inspiration. But she quotes the Bible often, and she talks about treatments, which are basically words, blessings on people's lives. That she uses her words and she helps put in words blessings in your life, right? So that, and she teaches truth. She teaches she talks about God a lot and how to live in a certain way. But one of the things she says, I heard her say once in one of the audios, it was something like, anyone that God has blessed, anything that anyone has God has blessed anyone else with, he can bless me with too. I give thanks for that now. The way she says it is beautiful sometimes to me. I just like it. But she's, I talk about when people say negative things on your life, it's a curse. You need to get that person away and tell them to shut their mouth. Not because you need to be scared, because your energy field can just repel it. But we should not be cursing and fearing people on this planet. It's black magic. It's not good. I don't work in those kind of witchcrafts, but I do understand what it really is. I think actually in the Four Agreements, the man that wrote that said about it, he quotes the Bible a lot, and he also said about, our words can be spells. People speaking bad on your life, they're putting bad energy towards you. You don't have to receive it. Like I say, no consent. But we should be going around the planet building people up. You cannot grow what you don't bless. If you are jealous and envious of people with money, we've got to learn how to transmit that. I have to do that. I remember listening to one coach who I absolutely love, but she would say, oh, money's so easy for me. I make it every time I sneeze. And I was in real poverty at the time. And I was like, I've got to transmute my jealousy of that, right? I've got to bless that. I've got to want more for her, because I teach you a lot when I do the energy work that we are one, right? And we are collective consciousness. And so what we want for another, we have to do it genuinely, not fake it. It's not I bless you to get. We've got to learn the abundance flow. I've got a course called Living from Abundance, actually. That's only $333, and that teaches you about the abundance flow, right? How to live from an energetic set point of abundance. But like, the flow of abundance is seeing the abundance in all. And if you're in any, it's only when we come from lack, when we think there's not enough for us, that we would curse another or be jealous of another or want to take or believe that we have to, right? Take from someone, compete with someone to get ahead. But when we know that there's an abundance, there's an overflow, there's enough for all, then we're happy for everyone. We can celebrate the good. I want us to celebrate our good here, right? That does not mean I want you to pretend everything's good in your life. I do not believe in anything fake. In fact, an abundant life is a full life. It's one with all of it, the highs and the lows. Like when you watch a movie and you know, like we watch a movie and like there's a bit where it gets sad and there's a bit where it gets good and you want them to win, but they go through highs and lows. This is how life's meant to be. It's an emotional experience. I will never, ever have my reality denied again like I've talked to you about. I will never deny what happened to me, ever, because that would be denying my reality, and that's what narcissists want. And there's a shame that happens in the shadows when we do that. We don't need to do that, right? It's not, I don't need to be proud of my reality. I have to be true to it. And also know that it doesn't make me any less of a human being. I no longer feel any shame about it. What I feel is I will not have it denied. And I get to be everything I want and have that past and have those experiences, you know? That's kind of abundance. Abundance is the and flow. So understand this, what I'm saying to you. We have stuff, our shadow work doesn't need to come from narcissists. That's just detonation. We do not need them for any of that. We need to leave them alone so that they can, the virus gets changed. You know what I mean? They can go for their own awakening. But like our shadow work is in transmuting our own shadows so that we understand that there's an abundance on this planet, that we will be provided for no matter what, right? Not in an airy-fairy way, not in a way that we have no control, understanding that it's our vibrational quality that can actually affect this. But where we notice our triggers in daily life, where we have assumptions, where we are a bit bitter, where, oh my gosh, do you have every reason to be if you haven't got enough, by the way? You know, you have every reason to feel that way. I did, like, gosh, it was so hard. You know, it was so hard, but at the same time, I knew that it was an internal job, right? And that I would have the opportunity to transmute it. And by transmuting it, I could then be a magnet to more abundance in my life. And it was only through that, right? Not the circumstances changing. I had to be in my heart differently. Yeah? When you see another person succeed, it doesn't mean they're taking anything from you. That is the lie that some of these people have put into us, that you have to only win at someone's expense. This is exploitation. It is absolutely against spiritual law, it's against universal law, and it's against the divine. You do not have to, no one in this planet has to lose or suffer for you to gain. There's more than enough for us all. In fact, it's our uniqueness and our individual desires and talents that makes this world beautiful. We're not supposed to be put into someone else's trap and then like made into a robot of what they need us to be so that we get them what they want and we believe in lack. The belief in lack is one of the biggest diseases on the planet. There's another teacher I love called Catherine Ponder, and she was, again, wrote this a long time ago. She used to be a preacher. She wrote the dynamic laws of prosperity, and she started teaching people about abundance and prosperity instead of, she did teach from the scriptures, but you know, she realized what a disease it was. I think there was a depression at the time. So we want to be willing. You can write in the comments any of your stories, anything that comes up, anything you would like, anything. I'll hold you in some great energy if you want to comment or where you feel about this. But like, we want to be open to receiving more abundance in our life. I'm willing to believe there could be more abundance in my life. I'm willing to change my beliefs around that now. Just be open to it. Just write it and declare it, right? And as I say, I have got a money course, but if you've got really bad PTSD, please come into Sovereign first. You can still join Sovereign this week. Do Sovereign before you do Money Magic if you've got PTSD, because the first 2 weeks of Money Magic, our relationship with money is a very traumatic one for most of us. I had a lot of money traumas to heal. That Money Magic course is really good on that. But you want to have done Sovereign first. You don't want to be doing it with severe PTSD. And there is Living from Abundance, which is... it's helping you change your energetic set point to an abundant vibe. All right, my loves, please comment where you are on this. Please, I'm willing to receive more abundance in my life. I'm willing to believe I can change this for me. I'm willing to let go of unhealthy beliefs around abundance. I'm willing to let go of other people's beliefs around abundance. Yeah, I claim my good. Yeah? All right, lots of love, guys. I'll speak to you soon.